In terms of real estate, the United States is truly an impressive place. Residential real estate alone is the largest asset class in the country at a combined value of $52 trillion. That's roughly $2 trillion more than the entire value of all publicly traded companies in the United States combined. America's vast 3.8 million square miles boasts some of the greatest real estate on Earth, naturally sparking a competition among cities and smaller communities for the title of the best place to live. So how on earth is it possible that a single community could take the title of #1 in the USA for 6 years in a row by multiple publications? Moreover, how could this community be located in Florida, a state that for 2 years now has featured countless YouTube uploads and blog articles sounding the alarms over an impending crash? In reality, Florida is and will continue to be a very complex market, with multiple storylines and narratives that are absolutely crucial to distinguish for anyone interested in understanding this market before entering it. And in this video, we'll make that crucial distinction by focusing on the story of a world-class market right here in Florida, a place brimming with charisma and optimism. A town that ramped up development not long before the 2008 Great Financial Crisis, that has nonetheless thrived through the decades, regularly achieving significant year-over-year growth, including last year's 22% increase in spite of the recent rate hikes. It's a town that is unanimously, both by the numbers and by the polls, been the single greatest multi-generational community in America since 2018. But the question remains, is it worth the hype? What exactly makes it so special? Is it some overly manufactured Truman Show Disney-esque suburban nightmare? Or is there actually something genuine and authentic about this community that seems to be a magnet for those making the conscious decision to live their best lives? In this video, we'll attempt to uncover that truth. We'll take a deep dive into every corner of this 33,000-acre, 50-square-mile community to answer one simple question. Why has this little town maintained its status as #1 in the nation year after year after year, after year after year after year? My name is Michael, and this channel tells the stories behind the homes, neighborhoods, and communities in Florida that you may be interested in. If you're researching the area to buy, call or text the number at the bottom of the screen throughout the video, and if you find these videos amusing and want to encourage better videos in the future, the best way to support that is, of course, to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll start our journey with the answer to a much simpler question. What is Lakewood Ranch? Lakewood Ranch is a planned community in Tampa Bay about an hour south of the city that spans across Manatee and Sarasota County. A planned community can be defined as anything from a small town to a large city that is centrally owned and systematically developed to accommodate a specific function or vision. While city and county building codes have provided more cohesion for organically developed cities over the past century, the central ownership and absolute authority of planned communities provides a unique opportunity for a top-down vision to be fully executed without compromise. This, of course, can be an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on the competence and the character of the central authority. A few examples of planned cities across the world include Abuja, Nigeria, the fastest growing city in the world from 2000 to 2010, New Delhi in Asia, Brasilia in South America, Canberra in Australia, and hundreds of older cities across Europe that began as planned communities and have since evolved alongside the various socio-economic changes of their governments. But in the United States, aside from Washington, D.C., planned communities are typically on a much smaller scale. And while the relatively low-density 50 square miles of Lakewood Ranch are modest in scale compared to planned cities around the world, there's one very important reason why you could argue that Lakewood Ranch is still one of the most impressive planned communities anywhere in the world. In order to make that argument, we have to go all the way back to where the story starts, over a century ago in 1905, when John Schroeder purchased the land to harvest timber for his furniture business. And when those ventures were unsuccessful, the land was sold in 1922 to the Uline family, acquaintances of John's through the brewing industry in Milwaukee. They purchased the home for a whopping $2 per acre. From that point on, the land was used by the Ulines for cattle, timber, vegetables, citrus by the 1960s, and shell mining starting in the 70s. But in the 80s, something very crucial happened. Interstate 75 extended through South Florida, through Sarasota County, along the western border of Schroeder Manatee Ranch. With the infrastructure in place, the ranch's location had now become extremely appealing, nearly equidistant to the west coast of Florida's three burgeoning cities, at 30 miles from St. Petersburg, 39 miles from Tampa, and just 9 miles from Sarasota. while also being roughly equidistant to what many consider to be the Gulf Coast's 4 most beautiful barrier islands: 13 miles from Longboat Key, 11 miles from Lido Key, 13 miles to Siesta Key, and 19 miles from Anna Maria. With the infrastructure in place to connect these attractions came the realization that triggered the vision for Schroeder Manatee Ranch to shift from farming, harvesting, and mining to the new ambition of creating an entire town. And so a team of experts was brought on to accomplish a very challenging set of goals. Maximize the value of the land through residential development, create a cohesive community that is truly rewarding to live in, and most importantly, uphold the core values of sustainability and respect for nature, which are fundamental principles to the rancher's ethic and a non-negotiable for the owners of the ranch. As we pause for a moment, it's important to note how critical this point of the story was. Most planned communities, including the highly populated ones I mentioned earlier, are either built by an autocratic government or they're built around a major industry or government operation, such as mining towns or capital cities. In all of these examples, the demand is built right into the community from the very beginning. There's no uncertainty as to whether people will make the conscious decision to move there because the residents don't have a choice in the matter. For Schroeder Manatee Ranch, on the other hand, there were no guarantees. Their hypothetical town was a complete gamble, putting the age-old dictum to the test. If you build it, will they actually come? Since this is a real estate channel, we'll take a deep dive into the ranch's entire history of residential development and also see what these villages look like today. We'll take a look at the surrounding infrastructure and culture that ties the community together, and ultimately try to figure out why this community continues to grow at an astonishing pace, notwithstanding external market forces. The long socioeconomic experiment began in 1995 with the first residential neighborhood, Summerfield, a centrally located community along Lakewood Ranch Boulevard featuring townhomes, small to mid-sized single-family homes, and some larger homes scattered throughout the subdivisions. The community was well-planned and well-landscaped, and today it's grown into a Lakewood Ranch staple with a centrally located park, winding roads, soaring oak trees, and homes over 5 times more valuable than they were in the 90s. In 1998, the second neighborhood, Edgewater, began development. A neighborhood featuring slightly higher-end homes, and a few years later, higher-end lakefront townhomes with boardwalks and other ways for residents to enjoy the nature. Then, in 2000, came a cornerstone development for Lakewood Ranch, the Country Club, the first luxury neighborhood and golf community in town. Today, this community remains a massive success and one of Lakewood Ranch's most sought-after neighborhoods, featuring an extremely popular golf membership, attracting people from all over the country to place their names on the waiting list, along with a variety of homes to choose from. And while many of these homes here still range in the 500,000s today, others have sold for well over $3 million, with the home currently on the market for just under $7 million. Along with the Country Club came Greenbrook Village and Riverwalk Ridge, neighborhoods similar to Summerfield in many ways that today also boast beautifully grown in landscaping in a wide variety of sizes and prices. With these 5 neighborhoods laying the groundwork for the community, the decision was made to initiate a wave of higher density development along Lakewood Ranch Boulevard, marking the point when the idea of Lakewood Ranch as a town started to take shape. First, a pair of condos were built in quick succession named Watercrest and Lake Vista Residences, along with a brand new downtown area dubbed Main Street, with retail and office space on the first level and loft-like condos on the second and third stories. Then, in 2007, with a growing demand for high-end homes in the Country Club, Lakewood Ranch raised the bar again with the development of the Lake Club, a neighborhood featuring a plethora of beautiful custom homes from the best and brightest builders in the state of Florida. Today, this neighborhood is recognized as one of the greatest in the state for its collection of unique architectural styles that can sell for well over $6 million, with others off-market exceeding an estimated $10 million or more, a feat that is not easy considering how far away from the ocean these homes actually are. The neighborhood has since released a new section with active new construction as well, between $1.5 and $7 million. Shortly after the Lake Club, the original Country Club expanded east with a third golf course for its members and more homes similar in size and value to its western counterpart. After Country Club East, development finally moved north of State Road 70 with Central Park, a large community again featuring a wide variety of homes, with its namesake coming from a large and beautiful park that serves as the hub of the neighborhood. Next to Central Park came Harmony, a nearby neighborhood with more centralized amenities along with higher-end townhomes and single-family homes. At this point in the developmental storyline, we've reached roughly the mid-20 teens, and with it, a second generation of neighborhoods in Lakewood Ranch. These second-gen communities typically involve a single builder, bigger and better amenity centers to serve as gathering venues for clubs and activities, HOAs that cover the maintenance to preserve the overall appearance of the neighborhood, and an overall attempt to create a more cohesive lifestyle within the village. This included Eagle Trace and Indigo, two neighborhoods built by Neal Communities, each featuring villas and single-family homes surrounded by well-maintained streets and amenities. Nearby, Taylor Morrison built its first Esplanade neighborhood in Lakewood Ranch with condos, villas, and single-family homes, along with a well-designed and highly rated golf course next to equally impressive resort-style amenities and two restaurants. Esplanade is another neighborhood that was very well designed, and due to its incredible landscape architecture and careful maintenance, it seems to get better and better with time. The national builder Lennar also built a plethora of neighborhoods here, including Arbor Grand with villas and single-family homes, Bridgewater across from Indigo with mid-sized to large homes, Savannah. Lakewood National was also developed around this time, a sprawling golf neighborhood comparable to Esplanade with an Arnold Palmer-designed golf course hosting many tournaments throughout the year, along with a massive amenity center with multiple buildings, restaurants, and a pool, and 4 different types of units, including 2 different styles of condo, coach homes, and a variety of single-family homes on the course. Just along the borders of Lakewood National, Lennar also developed Polo Run, Lakewood Ranch's first solar-powered community. In addition to Neal, Lennar, and Taylor Morrison, Pulte also became very active in the area at this time, building Mallory Park to the north, one of the more unique neighborhoods in Lakewood Ranch for its urban-style architecture and townhomes featuring sidewalks in the front and backload garages, along with more traditional, larger single-family homes. Across from Lakewood National, Pulte began the first retirement community in Lakewood Ranch, Del Webb, featuring villas and single-family homes, delivering on its typical Del Webb brand with a huge community center featuring all the popular active adult amenities. And finally, along with the single-family home developments came another condo project along Lakewood Ranch Main Street, titled Waterfront on Main, with a slightly more high-end feel and slightly higher purchase price than the previous condos. And at this point of the process, we're almost fully caught up, with the remaining residential developments either actively selling new construction as of the recording of this video or planning to break ground in the very near future with no signs of slowing down, despite many of the issues reported with surrounding softer markets in other sections of Florida. With the core of Lakewood Ranch having been developed by this point, the third generation of development has expanded in 2 directions, to the northeast and to the south. Starting to the northeast, there's Azario Esplanade, Lakewood Ranch's second Esplanade community with more villas and single-family homes, and another highly rated golf course with a similar display of amenities, trading in that Tuscan look of the original Esplanade for more of a contemporary feel. Next door to Esplanade is Azario Park East, an extension of Esplanade at a lower price with shingle roofing, no golf, and lower HOA. Across from Azario is Star Farms, one of the largest new developments in Lakewood Ranch featuring 4 different amenity centers, a small 55-plus section, and a multitude of different builders and price points from D.R. Horton to custom builders like Lee Weatherington and John Cannon to Homes by West Bay. Nearby is Lorraine Lakes, another Lennar community with townhomes, villas, and single-family homes, along with another extremely large and active amenity center. Nearby is more of a minimalist community, also built by Lennar, named Aurora. Across from Aurora are townhomes and single-family homes of Avalon Woods, built by Ryan Homes. Then there's Sweetwater by MI Homes, a community with high-quality homes and a well-executed West Indies-style architecture for the amenity centers and the entrance. Nearby is Crestwin. This is Coulter Homes' first project in Lakewood Ranch and the second 55-plus community in town. Next to Crestwin is Solera, one of the most affordable single-family home neighborhoods in all of Lakewood Ranch, built by D.R. Horton. And closer to Lakewood National is Sapphire Point, another neighborhood built by Pulte, which unlike Del Webb is open to all ages and unlike Mallory Park, features more traditional Florida-style homes. And close to the Lake Club is the Isles, the first Toll Brothers neighborhood in Lakewood Ranch, featuring a true old Florida feel with lots of preserved space, incredible amenities, and high-end semi-custom homes. When it comes to the development taking place south of Lakewood Ranch's core, we have Waterside Place, the topic of last video, featuring its own little suburban town in and of itself. with 11 neighborhoods sitting around this beautifully executed town center on a series of abnormally large and clear lakes. In Waterside, Pulte Homes is building 2 communities, including Avanti, a minimalist lakefront community with no amenities, some of the lowest prices and fees in Lakewood Ranch. Pulte is also building Shoreview, a higher-end neighborhood right next to the town center with higher-priced homes. Neal Communities, the builders of Indigo and Eagle Trace, are also building 2 communities in Waterside, the first of which is Windward, featuring a massive amenity center with a fitting coastal architecture. Neal's second neighborhood in Waterside is a smaller community of 47 high-end, semi-custom lakefront homes. Homes by Town is another semi-custom builder that's extremely bullish on Waterside Place with 2 new neighborhoods, including Lake House Cove, with their own homes, along with a series of very high-end custom lakefront homes from Arthur Ruttenberg and Lee Weatherington. This neighborhood also features some of the nicest amenities in Waterside Place and Lakewood Ranch. Across the street from Lake House Cove, Homes by Town is essentially replicating this neighborhood with a very similar style of homes and a slightly different amenity center. Along the main lake are 2 more dense urban-style neighborhoods with lake frontage, both of which are walking distance to the town center. There's Emerald Landing with beautiful high-end urban-style townhomes and backload single-family homes, along with Natik, featuring more craftsman-style single-family homes and more townhomes. A little further southeast is Monterey, another Toll Brothers neighborhood similar to the Isles, just getting underway with more high-end semi-custom homes. And in addition to this activity is a pipeline of brand new neighborhoods in the works, including Bungalow Walk, Palm Grove, Saddlestone, Catalina, Waterbury Park, and likely many more down the road. In the backdrop of all this construction, there's been additional space saved for the growing demand for extreme high-end custom homes here in town for people around the country wanting to invest their wealth in their remaining time here in town. There are 7 estate-style lots being sold and developed by John Cannon, titled Monarch Acres. These homes will be entirely custom, and as you can see from the first home that was built here, the sky is the limit. Nearby on Waterside's main lake are 13 more lots with a similar blank canvas opportunity to be built custom by John Cannon. These homes will also feature docks and boat access to the lake. Nearby in Waterside is also Wild Blue, the neighborhood of 505 custom homes from the best local builders in town. And these homes will range from $1.5 million all the way up to potentially more than $6 or $7 million. There's also the Founders Club further south with more custom estate-style homes between $2 and $5 million. And finally, there's the Concession, the neighborhood and golf club designed by Jack Nicklaus and Tony Jacklin to commemorate their famous 1969 moment in the Ryder Cup, where Jack Nicklaus famously conceded the final putt to Tony for the first tie in Ryder Cup history. The course has been voted number 1 in the nation in years past by Golf Digest, and the neighborhood itself features a plethora of $2 to $7 million custom homes. Suffice it to say, along with the Lake Club, this is another neighborhood that is in the conversation with the best in Florida. During this 30-year explosion of residential real estate that we just covered, the infrastructure, amenities, and attractions were all developing in stride to accommodate the growth. There's the main hospital, Lakewood Ranch Medical Center, that was built early on with Main Street. There are over 300 restaurants and 12 walkable shopping centers. There are 13 preschools, 14 private and public schools from elementary to high school, 10 higher education institutions. In terms of nature and outdoor living, 40% of the total landmass is dedicated to open space and recreation, including over 150 miles of multi-use nature trails and bike lanes, 13 total parks, including 3 county parks, gyms and sports complexes that attract large youth tournaments and professional athletes who train here in the off-season, along with the Sarasota Polo Club, 9 private and public golf courses, 60 active club memberships, 16 places of worship, and to tie the whole community together, 4 town centers, including the Green, a smaller town center with restaurants, retail, and residences, UTC, a major development just outside the western border of the ranch and one of the most popular places in town, featuring a nationally recognized mall, dozens of bars and restaurants, and the new Moat Marine Aquarium currently under construction. All of this next to Benderson Park, a major hub for events and rowing competitions. Closer to the core of Lakewood Ranch are the 2 main town centers we briefly mentioned earlier, the first of which is Lakewood Ranch Main Street. the first town center and the original entertainment hub of the community, with restaurants, retail, condos, a movie theater, mini golf, and more importantly, the venue of one of the most popular events in Lakewood Ranch, Music on Main, a long-standing tradition every first Friday that has grown in popularity ever since its inception. Down the street, there's the newest and most architecturally attractive town center, Waterside Place. I've already covered this in detail in the last video, but if you haven't seen it yet, this is another major hub of the community, with a host of indoor and outdoor waterfront amenities, restaurants, bars, and 2 recurring events, ranch nights on Wednesdays and the Sunday market, bringing in thousands of people every week. Beyond Wednesdays and Sundays, Lakewood Ranch plays host to an array of seasonal events that continue to tie the community together year-round. And with all of that, the external picture of Lakewood Ranch becomes a little bit more clear. In a free market society like the USA, there's no guarantee that a planned community will come together like this. But time and time again, people have bought it. They've literally bought into their homes, but more importantly, they've bought into the community itself. As someone who lives here and works here as a realtor, the answer as to why this town has grown so popular is actually very simple. It's just a good product. It's a place that is accessible to a vast range of economics, a place that facilitates interaction, both with nature and members of the community, and most importantly, it's a place that's consistent. With every success came the willingness for builders to raise the bar, which in turn attracted more people from all over to invest here. Lakewood Ranch is no different from any other product. If it satisfies a demand, is designed thoughtfully, and is well executed and well iterated, then people will invest their time and their money into it. Residential development will always be a practical endeavor, but with technology creating an ever-increasing remote workforce, development appears to be less about reacting to industry and more about proactively increasing quality of life. And Lakewood Ranch is proof of concept.